This is Kathy Chase. I wanted to talk about behavior analysis of the presidents and all circumstances involved with my life and surrounding situations. Presidents and civilians have shown no ability to provide any concern or any to be able to show empathy, compassion towards the lives of others. They are detached from society, from average people and average or normal human behaviors. How you treat other people's lives, their bodies, their families, and their children. They have no concern for their actions or their behaviors, as I said. If you put the word politics and then you put it next to slavery, they are two extreme different realms. They didn't have a contract on slavery for politics, and they didn't have a contract on politics because federal government would never give a reason to give somebody else's life to another. You can't ask for somebody else's life. They don't understand that by proclaiming to be a god or of some sort of higher form of person, some sort of to proclaim that somebody else's life was meant for you, to suffer for you, to feel pain for you, that other people's lives are supposed to feel pain for you, is to proclaim that you're some sort of God or some other higher power of the universe. However, not in a godly sense, but in a hate-driven, evil sense in which these people provide to the public and have shown very clearly. They see no remorse for assaulting people. They don't learn from any sort of behaviors in which they have shown to the public. They don't show any embarrassment or shame for their behaviors. Okay? Normal society would think these people would be embarrassed at points for what things they've done to me or my children, or embarrassed when they've been caught, or show shame. They don't know they don't correlate that. Because they're always in their manic cycling state, in their delusions of grandeur, to proclaim that victimizing people is a privilege. They think it's a privilege to victimize people. They think it's a privilege to they think it's a privilege to not understand what consequence is because they've never had to pay it before, and they don't understand consequence or rationality or normal society. Okay, they can't correlate normal families, normal life, normal society like I can, and like the rest of society here in the United States understand normal boundaries, what's taboo, what's not taboo. What it is appropriate to ask of somebody or to expect of somebody, or any type of normal boundaries within morals and ethics and religious and spirituality aspects of people as individuals. They show no remorse. They don't understand remorse. They don't understand consequence. They don't understand that they know where they're victims, but they tell people that rather than look for ways to problem solve, they look for more ways to victimize, proclaiming that's a privilege to re-victimize people. Because they don't know how to problem solve, because they've been living in their manic cycles for a very long time. Now, separately, I'm going to stop for a second and talk about the puzzles. Wherever they start or wherever they stop, or restart or stop, the essence of the data, when you put it in a dissect it and just do a behavioral sense, okay, a behavioral sense, in a worldwide sense or a universal sense, the cause of it, meaning, you know, thoughts of witchcraft or perhaps hypnosis, is not really all that important, because you can see how these people, it might not even be relevant at all, but these people have been out in society trying to make everybody sick like they are for so long, trying to instill and brainwash people. There are no values, there are no ethics, there are no morals, there are no ability to understand taboo and how that's filtered around the world and basically filters through society. They don't respect other people's lives, religions, cultures, sex, privacies, feelings, thoughts, and so forth. They have no ability to process any sort of normal conscience of human behavior. So the data, as I said, is kind of reckless and shows these behaviors. It doesn't really matter how it filters on to the rest of the world, as far as if they did use other tactics involved, because it doesn't really matter, because their behaviors have filtered into society so much that it's possible that none of those things were even used in some scenarios or cases or whatever. Meaning that they've had such an effect on the world and society, and it's filtered around the world, and the consequences are what you see. Because, you know, the United States was founded upon the Constitution, as people know, freedom of rights, religion, spirituality, to live freely, and sexism is not accepted. We've always been a democracy, and so forth. And as I said, they always blame their victims for what they do. And where would that come from? It came back 25 years later, after my initial incident started approximately 6-7 years ago. So I estimate it right around 24, 25, 23 years ago. I don't know. Before 23 to 25 years before this started in the public. That these people have been doing this for so long, they don't comprehend how they look to the rest of society, is what I'm trying to say, to normal society. They always blame their victims. And they say they look for more ways to victimize and look for more ways to try to deceive and corrupt and violate people in vindictive and vain ways. As I said, they proclaim that other people, including me and my children, are here to suffer for them in vain, for vanities or extreme abuses to power, in which you know, they said they wanted to spread mental illness with NAMI, I guess. You know, their inability to treat people as individuals, to recognize people for who they are, to be desensitized and detached from the whole aspect of human life, to show any compassion for other human life, to show any ability to recognize, you know, human life and their effects of it, and to want to sit in denial and want other people to feed their sicknesses and feed their denials and to feed their delusions of grandeur. As I said, they think victimizing brings social status. Where would you ever get such equations? And as I said, they abuse religion and delusions of grandeur sorts of ways. These people, if you wanted to label them as narcissists, would be putting it nicely, because they think they're much more than a dictator, but more in a hierarchy above God in evil form. Though they think they're above God, but they are evil. They want to spread hatred and pain and make people feel bad and tell everybody that you should hurt people for yourselves, make people feel pain for selfish needs that don't really exist, to spread hate and pain. As I said, they always blame their victims. And where does that derive from? It's got to make you wonder. That where would they, how would they blame me for something that happened 30 years ago? And then how did they say that they wanted to play this puzzle game? They wanted me to uncover their data or whatever, and then get mad at me or blame me for it and get defensive. They get defensive because they're guilty. Okay? Being defensive shows guilt. Why would they have plotted and planned the murders and scenes around town before I even woke up? Because they're guilty. They couldn't plot against my children. Why did they steal from my womb? Everybody in most people in around the world think, my gosh, that is so abnormal for any culture or religion. That's taboo. Why would you want to interfere with, you know, family or a mother's bond with a child? Why would you want to manipulate and be vindictive of a good mother such as me? I try to do the best I can. I've tried to do the best that I can do for my children under such extreme circumstances of being surrounded by mentally ill people. They don't show any ability. They say they like to prey upon children, preying upon innocence. They have no ability to know right from wrong. As I said, they get defensive, which proves their guilt. Rather than get defensive, why wouldn't they explain the things that they've done to me and my children and stolen from my womb? They don't explain any of the bad things that they've done to me or my children. That's not politics. Politics isn't claiming that you own somebody's life and they're your slave, or that they own your religion because they think they're above God in evil ways. Just a second, sweetie. They say people outside their social circles aren't real, or their victims aren't real. They have been detached from normal society for a very long time. Now they admit they plan things and do things, and then they're